Congratulations on making it to the final session of KANW's radio broadcasting class. I hope you have enjoyed your time and have enjoyed learning about this exciting industry. Our final session covers proper phone etiquette when answering listener calls, performing the weather break, and doing dedications at KANW. A busy request line is a good sign. Of course, you get the occasional prank call, but most of the calls are listeners wanting to interact with the station, or sometimes they call to alert you to a problem. Always answer the request line as quickly as possible as your duties allow, meaning after your on air responsibilities are in order. That means your live breaks and programming are prepped and ready for air. When talking with listeners, be courteous, professional, positive, and as accommodating as possible. Remember that listeners don't listen closely for hours on end. They may have just turned on the radio. They are also not experts on the format, but they expect you to be. The personal connection you can make with a listener over the phone is so important and should be treated with respect. Your phone presence is part of their listening experience and reflects on the station's perception and reputation as well. You can gain a fan for life with a welcoming, receptive conversation, or lose one instantly with an arrogant, rude conversation. Thank callers for listening to your radio station, and if they are negative and abusive, don't take what they say to be representative of how all listeners feel. Very few listeners will ever call a radio station. All control rooms also have an internal hotline used by management or the engineer to contact the operator on duty. Hotline use is generally limited to serious issues, so when it rings, answer it as soon as possible. The FCC does have rules on broadcasting a telephone conversation. Before airing a telephone conversation, live or recording for later broadcast, a station must inform the caller of its intention to broadcast the conversation. However, the notification is not necessary when the caller knows that the conversation will be broadcast, or such knowledge can be reasonably presumed, like when the call originates during a program in which the station commonly broadcasts calls. If a listener does say they do not want to be on the air, it is best to honor their request. I also wanted to remind you about Plugola as you near getting on the air. The free plugging of products, events, venues, or services not paid for or underwritten by a sponsor is illegal. This occurs when the announcer or program director gives extra or special on air promotion for something in which they usually have a financial interest and fails to pay for it. Plagola is similar to payola, except that it need not involve an outside party or monetary payment of any kind and can be accomplished by a single employee. Plagola is often considered a type of employee theft in that the staff member is giving away free announcements for which the company would otherwise need to pay. For example, a nightclub pays to have an announcer host an event at the club, independent from the station itself, and the announcer in turn announces this appearance on the air throughout their shift without personally paying for the ad. Or if the program director schedules extra free advertising or underwriting as a bonus for a company for which he or she also works. Or if an announcer directs listeners to their own website for personal bookings without paying the station for the self promotion. Always operate with integrity, professionalism, and disclose any potential conflicts of interest.